It's that time of the week again, and I was ready to measure myself up against weighted chin-ups. I was smelling a PR in the air, and I felt better than the previous week. So what I worked myself up was to ideally hit 32 kilos for a triple, and the sets that I used to ramp up to that were increases of 4 kilos. After a warm-up set, 3 warm-up sets with 5 body weights, and then I did a set of triple with 12, and then I ramped up from 24 to 32. I'm going to put a couple of sets of the overhead dumbbell presses that I did afterwards, just to give it a break with basically the same footage of me lifting up a dumbbell between my legs on the squat rack, basically. So unlike the previous time that I was doing these dumbbell overhead presses, I went down to 12 kilos again, and I wanted to get a few more repetitions in full control without any annoyance in the shoulder. So what I'm thinking that I might be doing is alternating days where I'm doing lower weights for higher reps, and another day, maybe a couple of days later, where I'm doing a bit of a lower rep set and going a bit up in weight, trying to get a bit more strength built up, so on one day I can focus a bit more on volume. It's not going to be a massive change in weight anyways, but just to give it a bit of a double progression, see where that takes me. This is the penultimate set. I was about to say step. I'm too hooked up with jumping right now. Focusing on the chin-ups. Penultimate set, it felt okay. Usually it feels a bit on the weak side, and then when I'm going on the top set, it goes away and I perform well. In here there was a bit of an inversion of roles, mainly because I didn't place the dumbbell which I was stepping on in the proper position. So as soon as I got down from the first rep, I tapped my foot on the top of the dumbbell, and that kind of threw me off a little. It wasn't a big bump, but I wasn't expecting that, and I was focusing on something, and I couldn't really keep that focus. So I stopped at 2 reps, and I vowed to try again. So this is a set of a dumbbell overhead press that I did after my ramp up to the chin up. I just wanted to put this in between. So what I was focusing on this time was just get the setup right, because I knew that I could get another set, and ideally I was planning on not failing the first one and then going for a back off set afterwards. But since I had to go for another attempt at the PR, I decided to disregard the back off set. So this is the PR set, and again, 32 kilos. I was able to get the first rep in very nicely, and then as I was going down, I used the stretch reflex to pull myself back up, and the last rep was a bit of a grind that I started feeling my quads twitching a lot. It was a really big effort, but I'm satisfied that I was able to hit these 32 kilos here. Looking at the way that my leg was twitching, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting close to a bit of a limit, maybe a wall or a plateau in terms of triples. So I will see how the next week looks like. I'm going to be doing 32 kilos again and see how that feels, and I'm gonna try and going up to 34 kilos maybe 2 weeks from now, and I'll give it a go. If I don't make it, I'll do it again, and if I see that I find the wall, and I'm just setting myself up for failure here, but if I do see that, I might entertain the idea of doing sets of 5 instead of triples, just to give it a bit of a change and see if I can manipulate volume and frequency in a way where I'm able to go past the bump if I encounter one. Let's see how that goes. And then I was moving on to the lower body focus part of the session. So I was ramping up with the sled pushes up to 100 kilos on top of the sled, and in between I was doing some work for the handstand. They didn't really feel that great. Mainly I wasn't really able to get into full shoulder extension, and wasn't able to keep a straight line, unable to maintain stacked joints. Maybe it's because I had too much blood pumping in my upper body after the heavy chin-ups, and also already some work for the shoulder. And then I did 2 top sets with the sled pushes, 100 extra kilos, trying to push them as hard as I could. I am at the moment not really focusing on progressing these much. I don't really know whether I should progress the speed at which I'm moving these or just the weight. Since these are kind of a substitute for the sprints. I'll see how this goes. And now here I was experimenting again. This time it was with a different setup for the Nordic curls. It was sparked by the fact that I wasn't able to use any of the lat pull downs, and I had been thinking about this for a while. I've seen a couple of people who are able to do real Nordic curls on YouTube, and this is similar to the setup that they use. And right off the bat I noticed that it's much different from my shins resting on the padding where usually people sit when they do in the lat pull down. So there is a lot more pressure on the knee and also at the back of my foot. The first set that I performed was with the padding really pushing against the Achilles tendon, and that didn't really give me a nice sensation. So these two things combined only allowed me to do eccentrics, and I'm going to be working on these, trying to find a better position so I can always revert to this in case there is no availability for the other one. Ciao.